Hello, good afternoon. Been a while. You will see that there's some changes here. So the background's changed a little bit. I do have big news. I bought a house. I'm very excited about it, and I am nowhere near finished unpacking yet. There's still a lot of stuff to be moved, but I thought today I would come on and share for the first time in a while a little haul that I got. Big haul that I got from the works a couple of weeks ago. Moving house is very stressful. There's a lot of stuff involved, a lot of stuff that you, even if you have moved a lot, like which I have, there's still so much other stuff and drama as well. But in order to kind of soothe myself a little bit, I did go to the works and managed to pick up some books. Now, a lot of the books that they do have in the works, if you are familiar with it, a lot of them are kind of book talk typical books. There's a lot of romance, there's a lot of thrillers, mysteries and that, crime novels. Not necessarily quite my genre, but I was really impressed this time because there were quite a few books that I wanted to get, that I've seen before, and obviously the works have usually got really good deals on them. So yeah, the first one I got is, I have left a sticker on it. So this is The History of Magic, from Alchemy to Witchcraft, from the Ice Age to the Present, by Chris Gostin. This one, I think I actually did buy this on Kindle, so I do have it, but it's quite a chunky book, and the writing's obviously pretty small as well, but it was actually such a lovely cover. So it's got the gold foiling on it as well, and I thought that this would just be a lovely book to have on my bookshelves, so I'm very excited about this. It is non-fiction, which I do love non-fiction, and it's just something that I'm very curious about, genre wise and as a type of research as well, so I can't wait to get started in that. The next book that I got was also quite a surprise. It was one that again I've been wanting to get for a long time. I did want to get this when it came out in hardback, which was last year, maybe, I think. I couldn't get it in hardback at the time simply because there were so many other books that I was trying to buy, and I still had my book subscriptions at the time, which were supposed to make me stop spending so much money on books, and kind of ended up stopping me from getting the books that I really wanted to get. So I've mostly done away with the book subscriptions. I think I've still got a few skips left for one of them, but this book I was very excited about, and it's For Rosaline, and this is by Natasha Solomons. So if you're not familiar with it, Rosaline was, she was Romeo's kind of obsession, like his crush in Romeo and Juliet prior to him meeting Juliet. She is never actually seen in the play. It is only just like him leering at her, you know, hiding around dark corners and watching her and stuff like that, but he's obsessed with her, thinks that she's the one, and she never kind of gets a say or a word in for the story. And then is very promptly dismissed as soon as he gets his eyes on Juliet, which is kind of a little bit of shadowing to explain that Romeo and Juliet itself might not be quite the love story that everyone wants it to be. Teen, you know, romance attraction can be very fickle, and fair weather, but for the first time we now actually have Rosaline getting her own story, her own say, her own words coming through in it, so I can't wait to start this one. I think there's actually also, there's a film being made about it as well. I think it's on Disney Plus. Yeah, can't remember, haven't seen it yet, but yes, this one, and also check that price, amazing. So the next thing that I got, I actually was trying to buy a planner, like a diary. I usually do go for the academic diaries and planners, and unfortunately this works that I went into did not have anything that was what I was looking for, nor in my price range. The only couple of things that they had was very intense planners that were quite a bit dearer, but I couldn't resist getting a nice notebook. And it's yellow, and I really love yellow. And it was only £2, as you can see, and full of bright ideas, which is exactly me. So that had to be bought. The next one that I've got is an absolute cover buy, because I know nothing about it. I actually haven't seen this anywhere. I don't think I've seen it anywhere yet. But I bought it, and partly because of the price was great, and also because look at that cover. Oh my god, it's just it's so nice. So it's the Star and the Strange Moon, which just intrigues me. I love the title. I love the cover, I love the foiling, I love the design, and even like the back of it as well. It's got this lovely arch, and it's got all this sort of moon segments. Yeah, so it's actually a kind of historical fantasy, I think. So the back of it shows you, so it's set partly in 1968. If it will focus. So you've got 1968 and then you've got 2007. So this follows someone who wanted to become a star, and she was on the cusp of obscurity, and a radical new film offers her the leading role. Her luck looks set to change. I'm very curious about the idea of horror in the 1960s. Like 1968 was a very tumultuous year in real life, and sort of, you know, pre-70s, early 70s horror films were just something else. And then it goes into like 2007, and I think much the same thing's happening to another star as well. I don't know. I don't know exactly, but I do like to start sometimes like books like these. I really do like to just go into them blind. I don't even tend to read the blurb at all. So yeah, like if you're interested in this, just buy it because of the cover. Haven't read it yet. So the next one is a set. So the next one is, yeah, if you can hear the rain in that, sorry, but it's the Scottish summer. So the next one is a set that I bought. I haven't opened it yet, but yes, I got them. I finally got them. So my thing with Percy Jackson is, I'll actually open them now. For me, like, I was never I don't know what the right word is. I'm never like against Percy Jackson or had any issue with it. It was just that when Percy Jackson did first come out, I'm pretty sure I was already, you know, like an adult. So it just didn't seem the kind of thing that I was going to be interested in so much. Even though it's kind of based on the kind of, it's, you know, classics basically. So when did this first come out? So 2005, 2006. Yeah, so I finished high school in 2006, so I was like sort of 18 that year. Wow, yeah. So at that point I was definitely starting to read more like adult stuff. Like I didn't really even start reading fantasy until kind of lockdown time, so I was very much more into sort of varied kind of literary fiction, adult stuff, you know, kind of one-shot books and that, and started to do like a lot of Stephen King at that time, so I started to just pick up what I could get there after reading Carrie. So going sort of back the way to kind of YA wasn't really a thing for me then. I didn't really, I don't think I even really read much YA when I was, you know, a teen, that kind of thing. I definitely stalled in reading for quite some time. Like I didn't really have like a lot of I didn't really have like a great collection of books. I had books, but I didn't have a great collection. of sort of contemporary things, so a lot of it was rereading old things or rereading that series that shall not be named over and over again. But yeah, like I was super into classics. Didn't actually find out classics was called classics until I was about 18-ish. So for me, my sort of intro to classics was Xena, Hercules, those types of things, the Mummy, like for Egyptian stuff. So a lot of my kind of understanding of it eventually came through reading a lot of non-fiction books that, you know, talked about the myths, talked about this, that and the next thing. So for me it wasn't really so much reading kind of fantasy or historical fantasy, and particularly not the YA stuff. So that is my long-winded way of saying I have not read any of the Percy Jackson books yet. But this collection was such a good price. So it was the 5 books. I believe these are like the 5 original books. So these were, it was £10, so that's like £2 a book. And they've got kind of, it's decent sized text, fairly floppy books as well, so I imagine it won't take me that long to get through them. I did start watching the TV series on Disney, and it's very, very nice, very, very cute, very something that I would have definitely gone nuts for if I was like the sort of key demographic at the time. And I did see the films, the first one, I can't remember if I saw the second one, but you know, it was good that it's what it was at the time. Obviously I know they're trying to make the actual TV series a lot more faithful to the books, and I think it's great because part of what I wrote about in my dissertation for classics was that any introduction to the classical world is great. That's all you want. You need to have some way to get you interested in it. If it's Percy Jackson, fantastic. If it's Gladiator, also fantastic if it works for you. And the point is to get through, you know, what your kind of introduction to classics is, and then to sort of research further or to branch out, find a niche, some part that you like yourself as well, and then to kind of go from there, doing your own research, doing your own going down the rabbit hole of classics, because it is such a rabbit hole and it's such a great place to be. So if you are in that club, please let me know. If you're interested in getting into that club, please also let me know. So yes, I will be doing a video at some point about classics, because why not? It's what I do. So the last book that I got, was not one that was technically on my list, but I did get the previous book of this, yeah, also in the works for like £8 as a hardback. So this one is The Prisoner's Throne by Holly Black. So I think this is the sequel to The Stolen Heir, which was the book that I got when it came out in the works for £8, which was like half the price of what it should be or would be anywhere else. And the first 3 books of the Folk of the Air series, Cruel Prince, Wicked King, Queen of Nothing, they do sell them in the works as a box set. However, I do definitely have them on Kindle, and I think it was a little bit dearer for the box set for them, and it's just, I don't think it's justifiable to buy them when I do have those ones, because I haven't read them yet, so I don't know how I feel about them. But at least I've got this and I've got The Stolen Heir, so I will eventually get to them. So it's good sized text, and it was such a bargain. Like, I couldn't say no. I couldn't leave it behind because it was the last one, so I had to buy it. Because I bought so much and didn't realise and didn't anticipate buying so much in the works, I did have to get a works bag, and I do love the works bags because they are always pretty cool. I got dinosaurs! So I'm happy. My inner 8-year-old is very happy, but I also saw another bag that I liked, so I bought that too. And it's Be Kind, and it's got bumblebees and sunflowers on it, which I really like this. So I was very, very happy with that haul, and it wasn't crazy expensive, put it that way. Simply because of all the good deals on it. So yes. aside from that, I've also had a couple of other deliveries as well. I figured I would just kind of add them in here. I don't like to have I need to have a plan, I need to have something that I'm focused on. That's just how I go. And one of the big things recently that I've noticed, because I've got a lot of stuff to do with the house, with various people coming, various things that I've got to actually manage and deal with, not just in my actual job as well, but I realised that I needed a new planner. As I mentioned, I was looking for one. What I did is I just went on to Amazon and went back to a diary that I'd got before that I really liked. So this is the Busy Bee diary, and this is the academic one, and it's a data page. So I really like this because every time I get one that's like week to a page, I always have days that are way too busy and never have enough space to put in everything I need in it, and then I also don't have any space to write anything about the particular day. Whereas I like this one is because it's part diary, part kind of journal, so it means I can actually jot down some thoughts, jot down some things that have maybe happened or something, because I really haven't been journaling a lot lately. I've not been keeping track of everything simply because I've been so busy and there's been so much on, but it's also at a time where there's so much going on that I really should be keeping track of all this, because it's a big thing. I don't ever plan to move house again, touch wood, I have no wood here. I really, yeah, I'm trying to get settled now. It's the first time in quite some time that I'm actually starting to feel settled again, so I just want to make sure that I have everything kind of documented so I can remember this particular period quite well. So I'm very happy with this, and it is actually a 13-month diary. So this goes August to August. I've tried buying diaries in January, and it doesn't kind of tend to work for me that well. I always kind of forget them, whereas there's something about an academic diary. It's the start of the new term, even though I'm not going to have that. It just gives you that kind of, I don't know, a kind of boost, and you get a bit more enthused, far more so than I do ever in January, mostly because January is still the deep of winter and there's not really much to look forward to in January except for January finishing. So I also got a new set of pens. So this is the Pilot G2 7.7 pens. So I really love these because they write well, they are nice and dark, and I like the clicky bits. I'm trying to look around because I did have a lot of the Zebra Sarasa pens, which in all honesty I probably love them more, but every time that I've been buying packets of them, whether it's a couple, whether it's a bigger pack, they seem to dry up very quickly. Several of them don't write at all. A lot of them end up just jamming for some reason, and then you're left with all these pens that seem to still have ink in them and they don't actually work at all. Whereas the Pilot pens always write, even if they're not quite as dark as the Sarasa pens. But I am very pen fussy, so that is why. But I did restrain myself and only got a pack of 3, so hopefully that'll do me about a week. I also got these Pucka Pad Jotas. So this is the B5 size. I also do have some of the bigger ones, the A4 and the A5, which are really good. I love them. I love using them for like vocabulary. So I usually use the big jotters for like language work and stuff. The smaller ones for keeping a track of vocab. However, I just find these so much easier to transport. So if I'm taking them out for like study days and that, they're just so much easier to do it. And I really love the quality of the paper, and I love getting this in the 3-pack. This was about £10 or something off of Amazon, whereas I think I tried to buy it once in WH Smith and it was about £5-6 just for one jotter. So yeah, I'm like, yeah, happy I got these. These are what I need, even though I don't particularly need new notepads, like I do have plenty, but it's all about using them in the right context, I think. So yeah, that is what I have bought recently. I've got a few other bits and pieces on the way. So yeah, just trying to get settled. I know I absolutely should be doing unpacking right now. However, I don't know if you can hear it. The rain is raining so hard. The wind is howling. I have sprints on right now. Not my sprints yet, but I'm watching sprints with some other people. And it's actually just really nice and cozy right now, so it's actually perfect reading weather. And I am still reading. I have still been reading. I'm quite behind on my reading challenge for this year, unfortunately. I think I'm at book 38 of 70, so I'm quite far behind. However, I am reading this Inkblood Sister Scribe, and I have about 40 something pages left of it. So I'm quite a good bit of the way through it. I'm planning finishing that on sprints tonight, even though it's 5:45 on a Sunday, which is just tragic, absolutely tragic, since it was Friday about half an hour ago. Yeah, so that's what I've got right now. New books that I didn't need but I wanted them, and the book that I'm going to be finishing, and I will be resuming my sort of reading vlogs at some point soon. In the meantime, I am still on Instagram, so I'm posting there sporadically as I always do. So yeah, let me know what you're reading just now in the comments. Let me know if you've read any of the books that I've shown you today, and if you have a preferred type of diary or planner, if you feel more inspired this time of year as well. Let me know all of these things in the comments down below. So I'll sign off for now, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!